How are you feeling afterwards?
The suffering that I endured left me in what felt like complete sadness and gloom.
How are you able to get past those feelings?
Academics helped somewhat, but what truly helped me was music.
Music? What genre?
Well, the two bands that helped me the most are post-hardcore and the other is metalcore. Their music and the events that happened to me helped me realize what I truly believe.
What do you mean?
I believe so much more about life now. Like that whole live every second thing. I don't even believe now that death is truly the end of us all. It could be a whole new beginning. I had this dream when I was saved. And the dream was just a giant black skull in me. I knew what the skull wanted. It was calling out to me to bring me to my end. I screamed at it. "You've got the wrong chick, pal. You may not believe in life, but I don't believe in death. Get out of here." Never had that dream again. And even with that bit of craziness and pain, Mike and Vic never left me.
Can you describe how you were feeling when you returned?
The trembling wouldn't stop. My soul was itching to hear my music. I sat right there, listening to my music when I returned. I was then trembling out of excitement and cried for joy. Some people would look at that as insanity, but if you were like me and went through what I was in, you'd understand this feeling. Besides, it's not my fault I can't live without music, right?
Right. She lives in New Jersey. She's such a small, thin girl, probably around 5'2" or 5'3". Her colored hair was fading into blonde. Her pale skin and young face made her look 17. Not even an adult yet. It's winter now, 1 year later. She wears a giant oversized sweater for her small frame. When she talks, she looks away, getting distracted by something, but continues talking like nothing happened. Your name is Emily. Is there any special reason why?
None that I can think of.
Any nicknames?
Some people call me Emmy, or the Youngster.
Do you have any idea why they call you that?
I don't know. Aren't nicknames just lazy people's work?
Maybe, but most of it think as a characteristic.
Sure.
How about you tell me about your favorite bands?
Too many to say. My top two at the moment are Pierce the Veil and Of Mice and Men.
Those are the two bands who helped you?
Yes, Mike and Vic are two of the bandmates in Pierce the Veil. I'll always have them with me.
She's a good singer. She has that soft, quiet type of voice. Not too loud at all. She did tell me that there are rare occasions where she can actually sing screamo. I asked to look at her iPod and saw that if she were to listen to every song once, she'll have enough songs to last her a lifetime. What happened to make you so picky about music?
That trait probably fully came to life from my music teacher in high school. I'll call him Mr. B during this interview.
What was this class called that gave you this trait?
Awakened the trait. And the class was called songwriting.
And this is the cause of your music addiction?
Probably. If not completely, then definitely a big part of it.
How could this class make you feel this strongly about music?
As the name of it states, it's a class that teaches you how to write and read song lyrics. This class shows you just how hard it is to write an actual good song. You really have to read deep between the verses and to understand the story. Most of the music today just has a bunch of ohs and ahs. There are some songs that have little to no singing at all. These songs I dislike because they have no purpose, no meaning. Or the first lines of the first verse won't match the rest of the verse. People who listen to these songs may say they like it for the meaning, but if they were to really analyze the lyrics, they'll see just how stupid the song is.
Can't argue with you there. There were times during the interview where I could see she was looking back on the event. Other than that, she was doing swell. I tried my best to bring her back to reality every time it happened.
I'll admit, when I was first getting into the music, I didn't understand 100%. I kept on listening and reading the lyrics and eventually came to understand. It's like music is another foreign language.
That is true.
People should try and at least listen to and read the lyrics to this genre. They'll see that most of these songs have meaning. They sing about real-life problems, nothing demonic in them.
If only more artists could write songs like that.
They better start.
The walls of her room were purple. She has a bed in the far right corner, and across from that is her desk. She has a large bookcase that's filled with stuffed animals, magazines, and of course, books. The wall on the bedside was filled with band posters.
What does your family think?
They believe that this is all a phase, that I'll return to the little music, pop-loving, brown-haired girl that has the same views as them. They don't understand that no one is the same from birth to death. We all change based on the paths we take. I'm no longer on the innocence path.
What if somebody did stay on the innocence path from birth to death?
I'd like to meet that person.
She showed me photos of her old self. How innocent we really look when young. That's when I realized the truth in her words. What really happens in our lives that we feel like we're obligated to change ourselves? Or is everyone truly different from past to future? Don't we all have our innocence but lock it away and throw the key when the time comes? Is there any way to get that key back? I looked at the young girl in the pictures, then back at the present girl and smiled. This story does have a happy ending indeed. So how did this all start?
Camping trip. My mom wanted the family to spend some time together, since our lives seemed to be getting eaten up by school, work, and technology. She was able to find a cheap cabin for rent. She told us we weren't allowed to bring any type of technology. That means no phones, no computers, no iPods. You can imagine my rage at that.
I can imagine my own and every other teenager's rage at that.
I hated that rule, but I figured I'd probably live. It was only supposed to be a weekend thing anyways. Plus, to make me possibly actually live through it, I printed a picture of Mike and Vic. Being able to see them reminded me that I was going to so blast my music when I got home. We were there January 5th and supposed to leave home by the morning of January 7th. Mom said we'd take January 7th off. I know you're asking why go camping in the cold. Well, it wasn't really cold that day, and we never really had to worry for snow either. I mean, we do live in the north, but it hasn't snowed for some years. The cabin was beautiful. It had a nice open layout, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Right when you walked in, you were greeted by a huge fireplace. Right in the center of the place. Would have been a nice place to actually live in. What happened? First night there we had one of those dry thunder and lightning storms. Why we would have one during the winter till this day confuses me. Maybe it was supposed to happen. Anyways, like I'm sure you're guessing, a lightning bolt hit the roof of the place and it started to burn. I decided to take a night stroll a little before the storm hit. When I was coming back, I saw the smoke and smelled the burned wood. I ran back, but it was already too late. When the fire finally stopped, I looked at the remains to see if anyone survived. The only thing that did was my Mike and Vic pick.
Well, that's strange.
Strange, yes. Fate? Probably. I lived in those woods for 6 hours before some people came to check out the smoke.
That's a long time.
Sure is. I didn't stand in that area for 6 hours. I didn't want to look at that, so I walked around the general area, making sure not to go too far in case someone did come. While walking around, I'd find food, eat it, and continue. Looking at my printed picture was really making me want to listen to some music. Any kind of music. I just needed something to take me out of this world and make me forget everything. Like a gift from the gods, I found an old CD player on the dirt. I ran to it and turned it on. I forgot, though, that with CD players you couldn't listen to the music without actually having headphones. I was disappointed until a pair of headphones landed right in front of me. Thank you, God! I shouted at the sky. I shakily plugged in the headphones and pressed play. At first nothing happened. That's when I realized I was a total idiot for not opening it first to make sure there was something in it. But I looked at the tiny black and gray digital screen and saw that it was actually reading a CD.
Are you okay? You look upset. What music was playing that makes you look like that?
It was country music. I despise that music. It's always the same story being told. It was disgusting. I started crying immediately.
Then why didn't you turn it off or take out the headphones?
No matter how much I wanted to, I couldn't.
Why not?
I told you, I need music to survive. If that music wasn't there, I may have drowned myself from depression. Not only that, but I felt like this was a sort of a test. Remember how I said in order to fully grow up, you need to let go of your childhood comfort, your innocence? I let that all go that day. Plus, soon after finding the CD, I was saved. When I was saved, I noticed that I was no longer holding my printed picture.
After she was saved, her rescuers brought her to their building where the rest of her family was waiting for her. They cried together out of joy. She soon told all of her friends what this experience taught her. She lost, kept, and gained some friends. A couple of days later, interviewers kept coming to her house asking her questions. The only thing she ever told them was,
"You all ask, but will never open your soul or lock away your innocence for just a moment to understand me. When you finally do this, then come back and ask me. Until then, there's no story for you."